So we're here today with David. Now, hello David.
Hi.
So good to see you. Usually I do a little introduction and kind of tell them a little bit about the career of the person that we're interviewing, but I know there is so much to go through, so I wouldn't do it justice, so I'm going to jump straight over to you. Tell us a little bit about what it is you do for a job.
So my role within the entertainment industry is quite sort of wide-ranging. I'm sort of skilled, got lots across multiple sort of levels, but I do have some dance background, not properly fully physically trained in dance, but I do have some movement skill there. But then I've also do fire performance, I do stilt performances, I do character kind of work. So yeah, a bit of an all-rounder within the field of entertainment.
Definitely. So I know before the interview started, we briefly discussed how you kind of got into it, how you fell into this industry, and it's an interesting story. So tell us about that.
Well, how it all fell about originally was I was working for the Mecca Bingo through in South Shields, and I used to do all the bingo calling and stuff. So that helps build confidence for you. And I always used to enjoy watching pop stars do their dance routines, and naturally you think, well, I could do that. So you sit there with the TV and the video, and you record it, and then you start to learn the routines. So we did a big staff show at the bingo hall, and my bosses were really kind of wow, that was brilliant what you did with Steps Tragedy. We'd love it if you would do that for our big relaunch party that we're doing, because the bingo hall had been redecorated. Okay. So they'd brought in this ABBA tribute band from Doncaster, and they started chatting to me, and they knew a Steps tribute band in Doncaster who was missing a member.
Wow.
So I went on stage, did Tragedy with my two work colleagues, and they would just sort of went, we love everything you've just done. Here's our number, we'll take your number. Yeah. A week later, I then, with my dad, drove down to Doncaster to go and then meet the Steps tribute band. And within the space of 4 or 5 hours, I'd done a couple of routines with them. And the next thing I know, I'm being told, welcome to the tribute band, you are now our Lee. For it. So we did that for 2.5 years. So we did a lot of touring around the United Kingdom with that one. We started off in working men's clubs around the Doncaster, Sheffield area, first of all. And then with our agent, he then decided to really push for us. So he opened us up out to all the big holiday parks, so Butlins, British holiday parks, Pontins, all of those. Yeah. And we actually did a tour for 3 months around all of the holiday parks in the UK, which was such an experience and such a laugh. It really was.
Imagine.
You literally did feel like you were a pop star on tour when you were doing it. It was a great experience. Yeah. And then obviously, as we know with history, that Steps obviously then split up.
Yes.
We did last good 6 months or so after. There was still a high for them, which was great, but then obviously it slowly fizzled out, and it was like, well, that's that then. Oh well. Well, I'll move back up north, back up home up to mum and dad. Got my old job back at the Mecca Bingo, and then the next run of entertainment started, which stemmed from a night out. And myself and a friend had gone through to Sunderland for a night out and ended up in a nightclub, and on that night ended up being spotted on the dance floor by the current agency that I'm still with some 20 odd years later.
No.
As they say. But yeah, so from that night, that then kind of sparked it off. So I did an audition for them on that night on the podium, and then the rest, as they say, is history.
So it really was that. I mean, that sounds like something from a film. Honestly, it really, really does. So you've almost quite literally fallen into, this sort of exciting performery lifestyle. You got spotted in a club, you did an audition on the spot on a podium. I mean, that's got to boost your confidence quite a lot.
It really did. When I came down off the podium, this complete hot, sweaty mess, and sort of had the chat afterwards, and then on the way home, honestly, if you could have seen me, I'd got the biggest grin from sort of ear to ear, and thinking, I can't believe that's just happened. How random is that? Gone out on a night out, and here I am. I'm now going to be doing nightclub entertainment work.
Yeah, that's the dream, really,
absolutely,
isn't it?
Absolutely.
Definitely. So that's how you got into that. And then the stilt walking, the fire breathing, the makeup. Tell us a little bit about that journey as well.
So that again all came through then from the nightclub side of things. We were at the time there was a lot of Ibiza sort of style entertainment going on, so we naturally tapped into that with the agency. So they bought their first pair of stilts, and I was the initial guinea pig that went, okay, I think I could do that then. So literally strapped on the stilts and stood up for the first time, and ooh, you know, you think Bambi on ice moment, here we go. And you take those first sort of tentative little steps, and it's a very surreal feeling because you're so naturally used to walking how you normally would do, but then all of a sudden you've got this heavy weight sort of strapped to the bottom of your legs. You have to then take that into account when you do those steps. And
I mean, it makes me nervous even. I'm just sitting here, imagine, because you're tall anyway, imagining that process, like literally Bambi on ice.
It was so strange. And I wouldn't say that I'm scared of heights by any means, but I do have those little moments in the belly when you think, oh, that feels a bit high. And even standing on that first time, I mean, it was probably no higher than this table, really, maybe just slightly high, and you think, that's nothing. But when you're on stilts doing it, it's surreal. It's a weird experience. You can't quite explain it until you physically do it yourself and stand up that first time and realise, wow, I'm quite tall now.
Yeah, definitely. And is it something that takes a lot of perseverance and training, something that you need to continue training with as well?
It is, yes, because there are varying different kinds of stilts. You have some that have got a complete flat base that sits on the floor, but you've got the old style peg stilts now. With those ones, you can't really stand still, so you have to keep teeter-tottering around, otherwise it'll be timber, you'll be gone. So with those ones, strength, a lot of strength in the legs, obviously being able to keep yourself upright for your balance. So they pull on a lot of muscles when you're doing that.
I can imagine you've got to be really fit for it.
You do,
yes. You've got to have, that core strength, as they say, to keep it up and keep it going. Do you know, something that comes across massively to me is your energy, your confidence. It really does. I'm buzzing off it as well. I'm sitting here, I'm like, excited by it. And so obviously with everything that you do within the performance industry, all of these opportunities and jobs that you've had, you've got to have surely an inner confidence in yourself, to put yourself out there, to put yourself forward for these things. Is that true? Would you say you do have, an inner confidence, or is it something that you've had to work on over your whole life and really build up to that point?
I would say it's a bit of both. I think the inner confidence was always there. It's nurturing the inner confidence to bring it out even more so. So it's continually a rolling journey with your confidence. Even this day, I can go and do events and think, you've got the flutteries in your stomach, and you think, no, you can do this. You've done this for years. Get out there and do it. And you get, step beyond those curtains or whatever, and you're out, you're there, and the confidence then comes straight back out again. So I find you nurture it all the time, your confidence.
Kind of remind yourself that actually, I'm really good at what I do.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. I just think, if there's anybody watching at home thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, it's something that I want to do, it's a career that I want to get into. And a lot of the time we speak to performers and dancers, and they've had, a very strict process throughout their life. They went to dance school or whatever when they were younger. They then went to colleges, moved to London, big dance schools and all those things. And there's very much a structure to it. But that wasn't your journey, and that's really interesting. So just to, prove and show that there is other options to get to the place where they want to be within their careers. Doesn't always have to be very formal and structured.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. And I completely agree with you on that one. It doesn't always have to be the routes of, going down to London and doing all the study down there. I've read stories of people who've done that, and they've not got anywhere then with their career afterwards until they've then moved away from London, and all of a sudden they found opportunities just sort of here and there, and they've then realised actually there is a little bit more to the scene than just being down in the big cities. You can find the work. If you just go out there and look for it occasionally, and find, I think as well, maybe finding the right people, knowing the right people who could also point you in the direction. And I think with, obviously, social media nowadays, it's so much easier now, I feel, to go on Instagram, pop a post out saying, can somebody give me some guidance and advice of who to speak to, or to Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah.
There's always going to be some account that you'll go, ooh, you've just piqued my interest. I think there's going to be something interesting with you, and you might then find that there's a career opportunity in with them. I can vouch for that through the agency I'm with. We've had quite a few people contact our Instagram page who've come from small backgrounds of some entertainment work, and we've pushed them out there and off they've gone. And it's purely from contacting through social media. So
that's so
interesting. You can definitely find the way to do it if you put yourself out there and look for it.
And it's about putting yourself out there, getting those contacts, having the confidence to network and not be, afraid to do that. Like, that is probably one of the most important things. And you mentioned your agency. If people were saying, okay, I want to do that, but I don't have an agent. How do I get these jobs? How do I book these things? What would your advice be? How do people go about to get agents, if they're not lucky enough to be in a club and get spotted?
I would say the only thing to do would be to physically contact those agencies and just say, look, this is me, this is who I am. I might not have all the experience, but I'm willing to learn. And if you can show and prove you've got a willingness to learn whilst being on the job, then I think that's going to open up things for your career in the long run. I think when people go, well, I can't do that, that's not for me, well then straight away there's your brick wall. You're not going to get anywhere if you're going to be like that. So yeah, I would just say put yourself out there. You have to. If you want to do that as your career, you've got to put yourself out there. So yeah, go and knock on an agent's door and say, hi, this is me. What do you think? If they say, not for us, okay, thanks. Move on to the next one.
Yeah.
You've got to take the knocks. You have to. I've taken them in my life when I've done certain jobs. You take the knock. You have to. But then you dust yourself off, go, right, that wasn't for me. Try the next one. And then on you go. And
it's that perseverance and stamina that really everybody who works in a creative industry knows that they have to have. The first time you get a knock, it's horrible. I've been there myself and I've done that, and you think, oh, I'm just going to give up. And then you have a couple of days and you think, come on, stop it, get up, do it. And it's a process,
it is.
And I think you learn so much, as you mature and get older and experience all these different things. So you do all of this, but you also work with children as well and do a bit of teaching, is that right?
I do, yes. We do, through the agency, we do a kids club for a local shopping centre. We've done that for a few years now, which is great, always good fun. And then I have done teaching classes with some of my skills that I do. So I have taught some stilt classes, and I've also taught some of the poi that I do as well, which obviously then links down into the fire performances that I do, because the poi and fire go hand in hand together. But yeah, it's good fun being able to, you teach my experiences of things that I've picked up, because pretty much most things I've done, I am self-taught.
Yes.
I've nenever really gone to proper classes for things. It's just, right, well, where can I find the information so I can learn how to do this? So as I say, go on YouTube, you buy the DVDs, you look up the information, you find it, and away you go, you run with it. But it's then nice when you can take what you've learned and pass that on to somebody else and go, okay, try this as an example, see how that works for you. And they do it and they go, yeah, that worked. Okay, I'm going to use that from now on. And it's a nice feeling. You can turn around and say, I've just helped that person and it felt good. And they can take something away from that. And it's a nice feeling when you do that. I like that, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I can imagine it's fulfilling.
It is, it really is.
Yeah, definitely. So, I'm going to have to mention it, the dreaded C word, not the one that you might be thinking, COVID. So, how has COVID affected you in the past year, your career? Have you really taken a knock, or have you been able to work around it?
Initially, yeah, it was just blanket, nothing, no work, no nothing. All the events that we'd had booked in, we were literally, fingers crossed going, please, but unfortunately not. The powers that be went, nope, not going to happen. Yeah. So yes, for all work did take a knock, but then, as I mentioned, the kids club that we do, we were being asked, could we still do that one? So yes, we can. How can we do it? Zoom, here we come. So a whole new experience. So yeah, that was new, that one, setting everything up, going, right, how are we going to structure now a kids club done virtually, you know, because normally you've got the kids there, so you interact with them and things just flow naturally in that way. But when you have to then think of a structure to then go, right, well, we'll do this bit first and then that. Yeah, it's new experiences. So again, learning on the job.
Exactly,
Straight
like
all the time.
learning something new every day, quite literally. I know before the interview started, we were briefly talking about how it's almost like you've got to be a children's TV presenter all of a sudden, and because, you know, you've got the camera, you've got to interact, and if you ask the children a question, you've almost got to answer it.
You do, because there's no answer, so you have to do the, I can hear you and all that sort of stuff. It feels very much like being a children's TV presenter, but it's a fun experience because you do get to see their reactions on the TV screen because of obviously how we have the setup done, which is fantastic, and we love it, the kids love it, and it's always a really good experience. But as I say, it's been a learning curve, this one, you know, thinking on the box and technical issues. Unfortunately, like we had on Saturday, a small blip where cameras weren't working, we're panicking, going, what are we going to do? You know? But thankfully, we managed to sort it out and get back on again. But as I say, it's all the learning curve, you know, with everything that we've done.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it seems like you've just like taken the bull by the horns and you've jumped straight into it, and, you know, it's all working out. So hopefully, as everything slowly transitions back to normality, where do you see yourself? What plans or what kind of aspirations have you got over the next year or so?
Ooh, well, for me, it's just going to be to just get back out there. I just want to get back out there working again. I mean, I do my normal job, as I call it, but then I can't wait to just get back out there and be creative and just strap on my stilts and extend them full height and be 12 foot tall and go and run amok and just have fun and enjoy myself. But then also I'd like to maybe progress further with other things within the career. So maybe take the teaching to other levels and things and move, you know, go down other options with that and instill my little bits of knowledge that I've learned over the years to other people and see where they take that knowledge and nurture it and grow with it over their career and lifetime of doing it.
Of course. Well, honestly, as I said before, your energy and almost like your zest for life. I mean, I've only known you for what, like half an hour, but it really, really comes across. So I can completely, you know, imagine that that's gonna excel you back into everything when everything opens again.
Absolutely, yeah. I just literally can't wait for that first day that I get told, we've got a gig, it's a proper one, you get to put on some sort of weird makeup and a costume and just go out and have fun.
Definitely.
And just enjoy yourself.
Oh, amazing. I can't wait for that either. I can't wait. So I do have one more question for you. I ask everybody this question at the end of the interview. If you could go back in time and give yourself, your younger self, one piece of advice, something that maybe you wish somebody had given you when you were younger, what would it be?
Ooh. I think what I would say to myself is, don't be afraid to push yourself out there, even at that young age, and say, I feel that that's what I want to do, potentially as a career. And because I do think back and I do wish that I had maybe been a bit more open about my love for dance and performance and stuff. It came much later on in my life. So I think I would say to myself, don't be afraid to open your mouth and say, I'm enjoying doing this. I want to do more of this. So yeah, I think that would be my advice to me. That one.
I think that's good. And also, I think that could be for any young person at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's really important that we tell our young people that you can do anything. And don't be scared of it. Just do it. And if it doesn't work out, move on to the next thing if you want to. Like, I think that's, it's so relevant. But thank you so much for coming to talk to us.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
It's been really, really interesting. Good luck for the coming months.
Thank you, thank you.
And I'm sure we'll see a lot more of you.
I'm sure you will do, I'm sure you will.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.